So good morning. So in the last class we have discussed about the 2D sketching. What are the different types of 3D modeling we have discussed, and in your syllabus there is in third unit there is some part called as modeling in Creo elements, but basically the modeling has to be taught in Creo elements. If I keep on teaching in software, it will consume a whole lot of time, but it is given as a single topic in third unit. So what I thought is I had to discuss those by using some videos where the modeling of the parts or the sketching in 2D environment is done in Creo. So Creo is basically one kind of a CAD software where it enables the users to draw the parts or to enable the users to produce all kind of modeling features. So basically the basic difference between Creo and rest other drawing tools is that in CATIA what you can see, or in other softwares what you can see, is that when you draw the sketch you need to constrain the sketch, but here in Creo elements there is no need to constrain the sketch. It is auto constrained. So basically we'll just have a look at over here. Now again same, I have discussed this, the basic this thing. So when you open, you need to go to new and then you need to click on part and then say the part name and then click OK. So then it will show up the part modeling software as you are open part modeling. There are line options where you can draw line. So here when you are drawing a line, so when you click the first point and when you are dragging it to the second point, it is indicating H. So that indicates that whenever you leave the, or whenever you click, this line is drawn, but here you can see it is not visible over here, but it is represented as H. That means it is an horizontal line. So that means it is an horizontal line. So whenever you click, then the line is, second end point of the line is dropped. So basically it consists of starting point and an end point. So when you rotate it, the inclination line can be drawn, and when you stop it, you can indicate here H. So you can change the length by dragging the second point, and when you click on the second point, the line is drawn, but still the line command is active. When you click the middle point of the mouse or the scroll button, then the line command is off, hence the line is drawn. So the horizontal line is drawn. So click middle button, scroll button, just come out of that, and whenever you want to dimension it, when you click it, the auto dimension will come out. So the auto dimension will come out. That means the line is already constrained in Creo elements, because if you compare it to other elements, what happens is that whenever you draw the line and whenever it came up the line command, you need to dimension it to constrain that. But here in this case, Creo elements, the drawings what you are going to draw are auto constrained. The drawings whatever you are going to draw are auto constrained. So again, when you click on the dimension, it appears and it can change the dimension up to your requirements, and then again click the middle button. So whatever the dimensions you have clicked, it will take that dimensions. So these are in the metric units, because initially in the last class itself we had discussed while choosing we have chosen MMNS. That means it represents the dimensions in metric system. Now again, if you want to position the line wherever you want on the screen, so just click middle button and anywhere, and then you can place the line whatever you have drawn anywhere on the screen. Then if you want to draw one more line, what happens is that I need to click on the start point. So this was the start point what I have chosen, and then you want to draw an inclined line, hence has not placed it vertically or horizontally, but at an incline to some angle he has clicked the second end point. So that means the line has been constrained, but still the line command is active over here, and if I click the middle button, what happens is that I will come out of the line command and all the necessary dimensions are mentioned. That means the angle between this is mentioned, and the height of the second end point from the reference line, that is this line or horizontal line, is mentioned over here. So if I want to change, I can change the angle just by clicking that. I want to mention it as 45. I mentioned it, and it is shown that this line is inclined to this line by a dimension of 45 mm. But I want to dimension this line also. I can do that by clicking the dimension button over here, so that the dimension button is active. Then I can select the line which I want to dimension. I will click on this line, and then when I am going to drag outside the line, the dimensions are going to appear, and you can change the dimensions. So I change the dimensions to 15 mm. Hence, the second line what you have drawn from the starting point, this point to this point, is of 15 mm and is at an angle of 45 degree from here. So what is the changes I have noticed? The changes what we have noticed is that whenever I drawn the line from this point to this point at a certain angle, the sketch was auto constrained. That means the angle was also given, but the height of the second end point to the base was mentioned. The height of the second end point from the base was mentioned, but I wanted to change this angle length. Hence I clicked and I changed it to 45 degrees, but I wanted this dimension. Hence I used this normal command, and then I clicked on this line, and when I dragged it, it appeared 45 degrees. So it took 45 degrees, but it is not showing this dimensions. That means a line require only inclined line require 2 dimension to constrain it. It was auto constrained by taking this dimension, but if I wanted this dimension, hence it took this dimension and omitted this dimension. Now, so there are some features called as center line. These are very important. Even I worked on this Creo modeling when I was working as an trainee engineer in one of the industry in Bangalore. So basically this was the first introduced at that time, so we are just learning that, and we just worked for around like 4 to 5 months, and then we came to know what actually the software is. So basically it is a very good software, because the sketch whatever you're going to draw are auto constrained, and you can easily, there is a less time to think about what are the dimensions we require to constrain a sketch, because if it is a usual sketch or a simpler sketch, what is the time required is very less. If the sketch is more complicated, then every time whenever you draw some parts, some elements, we need to dimension it. So that would have consumed more time, but by this feature in Creo Elements, the time that is required to constrain the sketches is saved, because the sketches are auto constrained, and the dimensions which you want to change, only those dimensions you can change over here. Now there is a feature called as center line. We can choose that center line. Whenever you place that, you can place either horizontal center line or vertical center line. Those center lines will be infinite, and they are in dotted line, and they are just the reference lines. We can't draw or you can't build any model from those center lines. So I'll just show how it is done. So basically, so I clicked on the center line command and it is activated, and whenever I draw a point, and it indicates either a horizontal line or a vertical reference line. So here, so this is the vertical line. When I clicked over here and just placed here the vertically, it represented the vertical center line, and so here it is showing V. That means it is a vertical line. So whenever I wanted to draw a horizontal center line, what happens is that I just click over here, and whenever I dragged it horizontally, I just clicked it one more time, and thus represented the horizontal center line, which is indicated by H over here. Similarly, I can draw one more center line over here, which is vertical. So the beauty of this is that I can dimension between these two center lines, whatever dimension I need to do it. Whenever there is an intersection, I directly take a line and I can join the intersection points. So I can elaborate this is that, so this feature is very much, we have used a lot when we are working on the software. So that means what I used to do is that, so I'm just taking a simple example over here. So if I wanted to draw a square box of 50 into 50 into the environment, what I used to do is that I used to place a one vertical line and one more vertical line, and I used to dimension between this as 50 and I used to place one more vertical line and one more vertical line, one horizontal line, that is the center line, and one more horizontal center line. I used to dimension between these two as well as 50, and then I used to take the line command. I would have joined all these intersection points, all these intersection points. Thus the part is created by without using any rectangle or any command, just by using the line command and connecting the intersection points. I would have drawn this without any much difficulty. This feature would have helped in to draw some of the shapes which would have taken less time. So you can change the dimensions. Here I wanted to change as 15, it has moved the 15, but click here, understand. So whenever you choose the second line, that second line would move away from the first line to the dimension whatever I mentioned. If you click this as the first line or a reference line, and if you click the second line and if you mention distance 50, then this line is going to move away from this center line at a distance of 50 mm. And see, I can use the circle command also on these two intersection points, and the diameter also they will come whenever you click the middle button or scroll button, and then you can change the diameter of the each circles over here according to your requirement. According to your requirement, you can change the dimensions of those circles, and then I can choose. If I wanted to draw a tangent between two circles, if I want to draw a tangent between these two circles, there is a command called as tangent and a drop down menu of the line. Drop down menu of the line here. So if I select a line and if I click on the arrow button, it will indicate the drop down menu. In that menu there is a command called as a tangent. So by using the tangent command, you can draw the tangent between the two circles. So it will take the automatically it will make a tangent line. There is no much about that. But this is the feature what you got. Okay, wait. Okay, this is the feature we got. But if you want to extrude this, or if you want to add the material to this sketch, it is not possible as of now, because it is not a continuous sketch. There are some intersections. So if I start from here, it has to go like this, or if I start from here, it has to go like this. But if I wanted only this portion, the outside portion, if I wanted to extrude, but at this present sketch, I am not be able to extrude this because, or I am not be able to add material to this because there are some intersections. So these intersection lines must be removed or must be trimmed off. So basically, which are the intersection lines which we need to trim off are? If you want the outer profile, this line and this line. And how to do that? Is basically by using a command called as a delete segment. So when I click on the delete segment, what happens is that, so it is activated, and whenever I wanted to click the line which I don't want, I just need to click on this. So I have clicked over here, it has eliminated the line. So that means it will take this loop, and whatever the line which I have clicked, it will take it as a third line, and hence it is removed from the intersection lines. So here also I have removed, and this will also remove, and this will also remove, but it is not finished yet. Because you had drawn a tangent to a circle. So you have drawn tangent to the circle, then you need to zoom at the intersection of a tangent line and a circle. Then you can see there is a small circle which is protruding. So the circles also, remaining part of the circles also, you need to trim it off. So how I am doing? Just using the zoom command, and then I am moving the scroll button inwards. So what happens is that it is getting zoomed. So then again, so I am just removing the unwanted lines over here. Once it is removed, I can come out of this sketch environment. Or if you want to undo, there are undo commands over here. Here I can see if you want to undo, you can use the undo command. but sometimes if you want to redo, you can use this command also. And the good thing is that you can use whatever in Word and Excel. What the thing for undo and redo we use are the Control X and Control Y. Here also we can use the same shortcuts in this particular software. So that's a nice feature in this. So whenever I activate those commands, we can see the changes in this drawing. So this is not the only trim command what you can use. There are other trim command what you can use is that, so I need to select on delete segment, and whenever I draw a closed loop, so the whatever the sketch that is falling under that closed loop is deleted. So demo of this is shown over here. See, whenever I draw the closed loop, whatever the paths or diagrams which comes under the closed loops have been deleted. It is also you can delete the dimension lines, or the reference lines, everything, whatever you can do. Now, so if we want to draw an ellipse, there are two commands over here: axis and ellipse and center and axis ellipse. So first I will select center and axis edges. So that means with respect to that command, what I need to choose is that I need to choose the center of the ellipse, and either the major axis or the minor axis I need to choose. With respect to that, the ellipse will be created, and then you can later change the dimension of the major and the minor diameter. So this is how it is done over here. See, I am choosing the center point, and I am choosing one axis, and second axis, one point only I am choosing. Hence the major axis and the minor axis it will automatically come because it is a auto constraint software. Hence you can change the dimensions with your requirements. So there is one more command, that is the axis width and ellipse. So what happens is that instead of choosing the center point, you need to choose the end points of either major or minor diameter, and then choose the starting point of the other axis. So hence again I can change the diameter length of the major and minor axis according to my requirements. So hence again you can change the distance between the two centers also as 25. So one more thing is that you can notice over here, whenever I draw this line, it is indicated L1 and the sketch is auto constraint. L1 means whatever the previous line is there, the vertical line, the previous command, that is here it is the axis is 10. So it has taken the same value of this. Hence it is showing as L1. But if I want to change this, I need to click on N1 and then change. By using the dimension command. So whenever I click the dimension command, what it is showing, I can't change because there is a equal length it is showing. So first you need to click on that and then delete this equal length. So this length will not be equal to this. That means the software is not going to take this length equal to the previously drawn ellipse, and then you can free to move the edges, endpoints of this diameter axis. That means you are free to change the length of this axis. So whenever you draw an ellipse, one more ellipse, sometimes what happens is that it indicates this as L1. That means it has taken the length of the previous vertical axis, that is this axis. So if I want to change this length, what I need to do is that I need to go to dimensions, that is the normal over here in this case, so in this software, and to click on the axis which we need to change, and whenever you drop outside, it will not change, but some box will appear, dialog box will appear, and in that it is showing what are the dimensions that are constrained for this particular axis. So it is showing the dimension, that is 10 mm is concerned, it is showing 10, and here also it is showing 10, and but these two dimensions, this 10 and 10 are equal length, hence it is not able to change the dimensions. So to change this dimensions, what I need to do is that I need to click on the constraint of equal length, and I need to remove this. Just click on delete, and then I am free to change the length. See here. So it is showing that I can change the lens also. I changed the lens, though we can see over here the difference in the length of the ellipse that I created. So I can create a chain line also, that means one after the other lines. So by choosing a chain line, so by using that, this is how the sketches can be drawn. So whenever I come out, see all the horizontal and vertical dimensions are mentioned as it is, as mentioned as it is, and it is auto constant. You can here also you can see the dimensions of this are same. That means they are indicating h. If you want to change this dimensions of h, that means this line, and this line, automatically in the software when you draw the sketch, if they are close enough, they will take the, if the parallel lines what you are drawing are close enough each time, then it will take the previous line dimension itself, and the sketch is auto constrained. So if you want to change the dimensions, you need to click on that particular line by using the normal, and or it is an auto dimension in other software. When you click on the normal and when you click on the line, it shows that the sketch will be auto constrained by, because it has taken the length of the previous parallel line. Hence you need to delete that constraint, then only we will be able to change those particular dimension. See here, you can see that over here. So here, because now here, what happens is that over here, this dimension I have mentioned, this dimension I have mentioned, this dimension I have mentioned, and if I mention this dimension, the sketch will become over constant, because if you mention this two dimension and if you mention this dimension, automatically there is no need to mention this dimension. But if you're trying to represent this dimension, then the sketch will become auto constraint. Then itself, this dialog box will open that the sketch is going to become auto constraint. So you need to remove certain dimensions in order to dimension this line. If this line is of importance, then yes, it was importance in this case, particular case. So hence I wanted these dimensions, because of which this length is removed. See here, then only I can change this dimension, or else we can remove this length, one and the same. Here in this case I had removed this length, because of which I was able to dimension this line. So next we'll discuss some drawings or sketches, how we need to draw in 2D environment of Creo elements. 2D environment of Creo elements. So after this we'll discuss one part modeling in Creo elements. So these are some of the 2D drawings which we'll create in this particular tutorial. So again I selected that part itself, and then this is how the sketch is to be drawn. So for that I am going to use the line command, and I'll just draw first horizontal line, that is the reference baseline, and then I just draw the remaining portion of the particular sketch roughly, and later I will dimension that. So I drawn the first line command. When you click the middle button, so it has come out of the line command, and also the sketch when it is closed, that the sketches are auto constrained. So I am going to dimensions the lines according to my requirements. Here 30, 20, 25, the horizontal dimensions. So because as it was overlapping, when I mentioned the dimension 30, it was well within the overall distance, and first I used the distance itself of 75. See, whenever I am using this, it is showing that this line and this line I have taken the dimension of this line, that is L1, L1 it is showing. So that means this line is equal to this line, it has taken automatically, and this dimension of this line is equal to this dimension of the line, it has taken automatically. So if I want to dimension this, then I need to remove that constraint of equivalence. Then only it is possible for me to dimension that particular horizontal line. So it is 30, 20, and the sketch it is 25, and first height is 20, second height is 15, and third height is 30. So what I have not changed this third height. Why? Because instead of giving this third height, I have mentioned the overall length. If I mention this third line, then the sketch would have become over constraint. So here also what I have done, I have mentioned first the overall height, and then if I mention only two heights, then it will be enough. If I mention one more height, that is 15, then that would be enough. So the part has been drawn. Okay, coming back to the next drawing, that is this drawing. So basically here, if you look at this drawing, what we require is that what are the shapes it is made up of. First I need to draw a triangle. Okay, a triangle by using a line command, and then by using the circle command, I need to draw the circle at the intersection of these two lines or at the three vertices of the triangle, and then by using a circle command, I need to draw a circle which will be tangent to this, or which will be a tangent to all the three sides of a triangle. So again, as usual, I am going to take a line command, because of which the line command is activated, and with respect to that, I am going to draw the triangle, a rough triangle, and then by using the dimensions, when you come out of the triangle, the triangle is auto constrained, and thus by using the other dimensions, you can choose a dimensions, and then you can draw the triangle. So as it is an equilateral triangle, so I am just using an angle of 30 degrees. Here it is. So I drawn one length of 60 mm and then two angles to make the triangle. So here I can whenever you put a dimension, the dimensions may appear big or small. So you can alter the size of the dimensions line. So here in this case, the angle line was coming out of the sketch. I wanted to place it over exactly over here, so it will look good and convenient for me to draw the further drawings. Hence I drag this from here to here, and from here to here also I drag this over here. Now if I pan it out, I can place it anywhere, and then I can draw the circle on the edges, center point and a radius or diameter. So when you come out, the circle is drawn and it is auto constraint. What I require is I need to change the radius or the diameter of the particular circles. Just click on that and then change. So whenever I draw the first radius, see here again, I have mentioned this as 20. So here it has also taken the same diameter. But if I want to change this diameter, again I need to remove the equivalence of R1. And then only I will be able to change that. But here it is same, so let it be then. So in this condition it helps. but in some conditions we need to remove that constraint and need to put the new dimensions. So here in constrain the triangle, I have used one side length and two angles. There are some other ways also you can constrain the triangle, so you can use that. The design is it is feasible. So hence this kind of part of drawings are flexible. You can start from anywhere and you can end at the conclusion. The method varies. Then the encircle command, there is a command called as 3 tangent. So I need to select the center point of the 3 tangents, and then if I click the middle button, then you can see a circle is drawn. Next, third point. So here, if you look at all these things, when I have to come out, it is not going to part modeling because initially I am selecting the sketch environment. So hence, whenever I draw the sketch and whenever I clicked it, there is no moving into the part environment, because all these things what I am doing I am doing it in the sketch environment. See over here? So for this particular, yes, this is when the center line is very helpful in this particular drawing. So here what happens is that if you look at the drawing, yes, this is a particular drawing. They have shown the center line. So I can easily draw one center line and then one center line. I can dimension between those center lines as 90, and one center line I can draw there, and then by using this intersection I can draw this circle and again this circle, and again on this intersection point I can draw the circle of radius 10 and one more circle of radius 20, and then by using the trim commands I'll trim the unnecessary lines over here. So that is how it is demonstrated in this particular diagram over here. See, I'm just first using the center lines as vertical center line and the horizontal center lines, 2 vertical center lines and 1 horizontal center lines, and the distance between the 2 vertical center lines I can name as per the requirements in the drawing. I just edit those dimensions, and then by using the circle command, that means center point and diameter, I can draw the 2 concentric circles at the first intersection of the center lines, and second intersection of the center line also I can draw, and then when you come out it is auto constant with as per requirement. You can change the dimensions of the circles. And then by using a tangent line, you draw the tangent between the 2 circles, and by using the delete segment option, you can trim out the unnecessary lines. So I told you, whenever you are using a tangent command, the intersection has to be checked. Hence, by using the zoom command only, you can trim out at the intersection of the line and a circle. Here I am using zoom at the intersection and I am deleting some of the lines. So if you don't trim those lines, if you don't want to add material, then it will show that the sketch is not closed or some error will appear. This indicates that there are some lines or there are some loop is not complete. So I need to check for that. And next is this. So it is pretty much simple. There's a rectangular block with 2 circles, and the center points of those circles are given as, in vertical direction it is 50 of this circle I am talking, and from the base, so from the extreme left hand, the center point in horizontal direction is 30, and of this circle again the center point is from the here it is 15, and from the extreme right and it is 30. So what I can do is that I can directly use the rectangle command. I can draw this, and then two center lines I can place over here, and this distance I can place, and I'll draw one more center line, horizontal center line, and from here to here I'll place it as 15. I can draw this whenever I'll get two intersection points. So this I'll take it as centers. I can draw the circle and then later change the dimension of the circle. Or else what I can do is that I'll draw one vertical line, rough center line, and other vertical line at a distance of 30, and other vertical line at a distance of 40, and other vertical line at a distance of 30. And then I'll use a central axis, and I'll draw again the horizontal line over here, and then again one more line I'll draw here, and one more I'll draw above that, and between this horizontal center axis and first center axis I'll mention the dimension as 15, sorry, and then for the second and the third again I'm going to mention the dimension as 15. Hence I'm going to get is only the first I drawn only all the center axis of horizontal and vertical. At this particular time, you just see that whichever the boundaries you require, and then join those boundaries, and this intersection you take it as center point of this circle and this circle, and you can draw the circles. So there are two ways, so you can prefer any way. So I prefer the first one, that is to draw a rectangle itself. And then change the dimensions as per the requirement in the drawings. And then same here, I'm going to draw a center line, the vertical center lines, and then I can dimension those center lines as per the command, and I can draw the center line also. But here the thing is that what he has done is that he has directly chosen the middle point. If you move on this line, at some point if you come close to the middle point, it will indicate M. So that for instant of that, if you click it, then that will be the center line, the horizontal center line will pass through that. And again, if I move her here on this vertical line, and somehow while moving, it indicates at certain point when you come close to the middle point, it will indicate as M. So whenever I click that, then that will be chosen as the second reference point for the horizontal center line. So then if that is the case, then there is no need to dimension this side and this side for the center lines. And then you are going to get this intersection points. With respect to this intersection points, you take a circle and draw the circle. Use the circle command, I can draw the circle. So that is done. Again in the sketch environment. So this drawing. So what is there in this drawing? So here I am going to draw this line. Just draw an ellipse first, and then put a horizontal axis as dimension as 100 and vertical axis as 80, and then you can draw a axis line, and then you can dimension between this axis line and this edge as 10, and here from this axis and this edge as 10, and then we can draw a horizontal center line exactly at the middle point of the axis, and then you will get two intersections. There you can draw the holes or these circles by using the circle command, and then you can use one more vertical axis command, and you can place it over here, and then you can dimension from that to this, and you can dimension it as 50. So it will come over here. By using this intersection point, you can draw this circle and this circle. It is as simple as it is. So that is how the sketches are done in any Creo element software. So next we'll move with the part modeling. So again, new part, use default template, or if you want to have the own template, you can write. You can change over here the templates, and MMNS we select. So it will come to the part environment. You can notice a change in the part environment and in the sketch. In part environment, you can see three mutually perpendicular planes, that is the right, top and front planes, and this showing the coordinate systems, and this is the part tree. So where you can see the part you are going, and three reference planes for those drawing of the part where the orientation lies, and then it is indicating the part coordinates and systems. So now, so before going into the drawing of the any part, I am just going to show how the different commands in the part drawing environment works. So first is the extrusion command, or it is extrude command. Then after choosing the command extrude, just select the plane on where you want to draw. When you select the plane, so it is highlighting over here the top plane, and the plane is oriented, and then you draw the required sketch. I draw the rectangle, and when I click the middle mouse button or scroll button, will come out of the sketch, and you see here what you can notice is that the sketch is auto constrained. Then if you want to change the dimension of the horizontal line and the vertical line, here also you can change by using the normal. As per your requirements, you can change, and then click OK at the extreme right corner. If you click OK, see here, it has come out of the sketch environment, and it is in the part environment, and the command what you have used is extrude. It is adding the material to the base rectangular sketch. So how much the dimension you need to add, you may notice over here. So I added 30, so the thickness of the part is increased by 30. So here there are some other commands. So if I use this, whether it is outside the sketch it is 30 mm, it will take, inside the sketch it will take 30 mm. So I'll represent, I'll show what I mean by that. So if I make the surface, then the entire part will become a surface. And again, if I want to make it part, the entire drawing become a part. So this will means normal command. Click OK. If you want to cancel, you can cancel that. Then thickness statements, it is a shell command. In other softwares, if you click it, then the thickness is left. No, here I'll come back. So this command I am elaborating right here also, it is works as same. For that, I'll take use of the top view, so you can see over here. If I click one time, the sketch is over here. This is the sketch. Initially what happens is that if I have changed the thickness with respect to the sketch, outside it has taken 1 mm and inside it has taken 1 mm. So together the shell thickness is 2 mm. If I click it one more time, what happens you can see. See here. Now, this is a sketch and I mentioned the thickness as 2 mm. Once it is mentioned, what happens is that outside the sketch it will take 1 mm and inside the sketch it will take 1 mm. So if I click it one more time, what happens is that this entire edge will be pushed inside. That means the thickness what is added, it is added inside this sketch itself. If I click this above line, what happens is that the thickness what is added outside this sketch. The thickness what is added will be added outside this sketch. If I click it above over here and if I click it below over here, the thickness what will be added, it will be added inside this sketch. So that is the advantage of this particular command. So see, you can see the notice. So this has become the sketch and inside it has taken the dimensions. Is that clear? So I don't want this sheet metal, hence I don't want any this shell command. I'll just click on shell command, it will deactivate and the part will be solid part. And if I come out, if I say click OK or right button, the model is complete. Okay. Now, but I need to draw one more feature on this particular surface itself. So again, I want to extrude, I wanted to add a material to a particular basic sketch. So the sketch where I need to draw, I selected the extrude command, but the sketch where I need to draw or the protrusion where it has to come is that on this particular surface. Hence, I am going to select this surface only as the plane for sketching. So once I click this, what happens? If I need to click on show sketch, then the plane is oriented. And then see here, initially this is a sketch and it is taken 2 mm inside the sketch because I used the command and I left it that. So then a circular component is showing. But here what happens is that now, so I wanted to draw one more sketch on this particular plane because I wanted to extrude some part, but I had taken this surface as a reference plane where I will draw my sketch. But to draw the sketch, I wanted to use these edges. But if I was trying, it was not coming. Why? Because the edges are below the plane. Hence, I need to extract those edges on this plane. So that is done by using this command called as references. So if I click those reference command and I click on this part, then these edges, what I can see, have come on the plane. And then I can use these edges to create my drawings. See, I am using a rectangular command, and whenever I click the first left corner and I am dragging it for the bottom right corner, and if I click it and if I come out of the sketch command, so it will extrude the part and dimension I have chosen and then click OK. So this is how it looks like. But again, I wanted to extrude one more command. So click on the surface and click on sketch. It will orient to the sketch command, and all the sketch tools will be available here. And again, I am drawing one more rectangle over here. Then click OK. So over here, if I change the direction directly by mouse itself, it will go downside, or it will go below the surface. That means if I wanted the extrusion to be here, you can drag the mouse here, or you can simply click in the opposite direction. See, as the extrusion is done below. And if you want to remove the material, you need to click on this. So entire material will be removed with respect to the sketch from the base material, and the direction also you can control. If I click on this direction, only this sketch will be retained. The remaining part outside the sketch will be removed. And if I mention this direction outside, then the sketch will be removed, remaining portion other than the sketch will be retained. So here in the design tree, what I can see is that you can show all the extrusion, what you have done, extrusion 1, extrude 2, sorry, it is extrude 1, extrude 2, extrude 3. And if you want to edit or delete, you can just do that by clicking on that, right clicking on that particular feature. So I want to delete those things, and I just click on the right click on the button, and I have extruded. And here also, sorry, if you want to edit also, you can edit some features again by right clicking and edit. So if you want to edit the sketch, then click on the drop down menu, and there you can see the sketch. You can right click and edit the sketch also. You can change the dimensions here also, and the same changes will be incorporated in the part. So here I wanted to make a circle like shape at the extreme right corner instead of a straight edge. So hence I drawn a circle, and again I am using a delete segment to remove the excess lines. So that means I am modifying the drawing. See here, the modification what I have done with the particular sketch of this, it has been incorporated in the part also. So again I am drawing one more part. For that I have chosen the right plane. I want to draw a E kind of structure over here. I just scroll the profile, and if I click middle button, then the entire dimensions, I don't want to change the dimensions, and I just clicked OK. And extrusion is done on only one side. Extrusion is done only on one side. So here if you click on options, and if you want to do extrude it on the other side also, on the side too also, you can find, and then you can put the dimensions. So if you put the dimensions, the other side also it is extruded of the sketch. So one side it is 100, and other side it is also 100, and this is the sketch. So you can see it is this side 100 and this side 100. That option is also there. So you need to go in the options, and then there is a whole command. So sorry, extrude on both the sides. So these are some of the options. So it is extruded on both the options, and click OK. So then I want to make a circle from that part. So hence I need to choose that surface as my reference plane for the sketch, and it will orient, and I'll just draw the circle at the center point of the part like this, and then I'll come out of the part and see a circular shaft is extending from this plane, from this surface, because this surface I have chosen as a plane for my sketching of the circle. So here there are some commands. So here there are certain commands. If I extrude to the front surface, if I click this, it will extrude it to the first surface itself. That is here. So if you want to do it to the entire surface, then I can click that by intersection with all the surface. Then it has taken to all the surfaces unto the up to the last surface. And if you do the cut section, then the whole will be created from all the sections. So these are some of the commands. By making use, you can do that. And then you can select the surfaces also, till what surfaces you want to. So here if I selected this, see the extrusion will be turned until this or this until this plane. You can do any planes. So whichever plane you select, you can do that. So here you can select the vertices of the plane also. Select the vertices of the plane, then that will be taken as a plane, and until that plane the part will be extruded. If you want to add material and if you want to remove material, the whole will be made in this particular drawing. So again, there are some commands of representation. If I do with shade with edges, it will show like this, and shade with reflection means there will be a reflection of the part over here and on this side, and shading, it will be normal. So no shading means only the wireframe. This is the wireframe, how it looks like. And in that wireframe also, if you want to see the hidden lines, you can see. So these are some of the things what you can show here, and remaining we'll continue it in the next class.